All right, hey guys. Jordan Byron posted a video on how he cleans his bike in the winter, and it actually gave me an idea that, or more of a reminder that I needed to get out and clean mine. In the winter, I've got a little bit of a different setup. He had some considerations for frozen pipes and not using the garden hose, and so I've got a little bit of a different setup. I'll show it to you now. I just got my facilities crew out here to help set some things up, and we're going to get to it right now. Okay, see you in a bit. All right, so here's the setup we're working with today. You got the one dirty Chromag over there on the left in the bike stand. I got a Nomad portable power washer. I don't know the model number, but you can search for Nomad, just like the Santa Cruz model. And it's a 3.5 gallon tank. You'll see I've got two tanks, and that's because I had the misfortune of the first one that I ordered arrived DOA. The motor was shot, and so instead of them asking for it back, they just sent me a replacement. So the other motor doesn't in fact work, but now I've got two 3.5 gallon tanks. For two bikes, I need two 3.5 gallon tanks, and I usually have a little bit left over. What you're going to need for this, or what I use, I got heavy duty rubber gloves. I got to go back and grab a sponge. I got a couple of brushes. This one I use on the tires and the rims. This one I use on the drivetrain, on the gears. I've got citrus degreaser in this, and I've got 50/50 simple green and water in that one. That's actually what I use to clean the bike. But the degreaser here is when I get started. I've already done a pre-soak. I come over to the drivetrain, and I just give it a good spray. Just get that going. Just get some on here. Just a little. Just to get a little bit of a pre-soak going. I've already done that. I did that for just showing you for demonstration purposes, and then I did rotate the chain, the cog set. I did run it through the chain and the back side of the cog set just to get it, everywhere. So we'll cut to the actual wash job in just a minute. All right, so I got my facilities crew is also my video crew. So I'm putting on the heavy duty gloves. We do have a couple of the sponges here. I like to use, kind of like this one. This one has a bit of body on it, so this one tends to be pretty good. I will get on with the sprayer first and just get a little bit of action going. When you first turn it on, it's got to charge up the pressure, and then just going to sort of get a soak working in. I'm not using a lot of pressure. I don't have this there's a nozzle that I can set for the sprayer, and I don't have a lot of pressure going on this at all. Also helps to have a fully charged, this is one of those 18-volt batteries that I just took from one of my cordless drills. And you can see that the first pass is getting the junk off. Again, with this, you don't have to be afraid to get in with a little bit of, it's not a high pressure setting on this. I also don't have a rear suspension linkage to worry about, which is also kind of nice. But I do have to worry about the cork seals. So coming over to the other side, I'll do the same situation over here. I say quick soak, but I am being a bit thorough. Just trying to get the first pass, get the dirt off. Not hanging out in any one place for any bit of time. And that's really just a matter of getting in early, just getting the dirt loose, and the back side of the cog set, getting the back of the yoke, back of the stays here, the inside. These are places where dirt can tend to accumulate. Okay, just like that. Probably used enough. So that's the first step. Then I take my sponge, get a little bit of a soak going on that. That starts that. Come over with the Simple Green and 50/50 Simple Green and water. That gets the suds going, and this stuff doesn't necessarily evaporate all that quickly. You have a different way of doing things. Here's the secret sauce. You get this going on the wheels on both sides and let that start to soak. Same here. Just get that going. Makes it easier when you come through and try to give it a good go. Alright, it's probably pretty good. Fairly thorough. Now this gets a little bit easier. So I'll start with the frame. Whoops. That was a mistake. It's a technical issue. Come back through here. Just being careful to... I mean, I'm not doing a concours level washing here. It's just going to get dirty again, but washing the bike helps me to sort of look at where there might be some damage or abrasions or anything that might stick out as something I might need to pay attention to. Like I noticed a couple of rock chips on the other chainstay, and another thing I do is I rock the tire, and sometimes I can send the sponge down into the back of the yoke, which helps get that clean without necessarily putting any more effort into it than I need to. This derailleur's missing. It's like the derailleur cable's fraying right there. So I probably need a nice little new end cap for that. I'll come back through here and scrub the cogs. But nice little go here. I can take a look at the stanchions. I can take a look at the fork legs and just see what kind of work, what kind of condition things are in. And basically get a sense of anything I might need to pay more attention to. And I admit that in the winter I don't spend a too terrible amount of time cleaning the bikes, but then again it's all relative. I'm also riding my trail bikes less, and I'm spending more time with my fat bike. So there you go. Something like that. Coming back through here, this is getting a little dry, so let me just hit it with some water. Just keep it moist. Come back through these back of these, where all the dirt likes to fly up and just get all over the bike. So now I'm going to fly through with a wheel brush. This one helps kind of get the wheels clean. I'll start with the sidewalls, and this is a mid-fat, so there's a lot. See how because I pre-sprayed, still have the suds that are left over from the Simple Green that's just been sort of hanging out on that and just checking things out. This gets a little messy because now you got the bristles flying everywhere, but this is a stiff-ish bristled, plastic bristled brush. You come to the other side, same deal here, getting at it, and then kind of come through and do the front and the rear wheels. And see, this isn't quite, there we go, a little bit of suds going. So this just gets the sidewalls nice and clean. I don't know, something nice about a washed up, cleaned up bike and you got nice clean sidewalls. Getting to the rim, it's good. I kind of use the valve stem is the anchor. So when I'm doing this, the valve stem is sort of my marker, so I'm not spending any more time doubling back on anything. And again, with this situation, I'm just looking for aberrations in the tire. I don't know. It's hard to kind of catch sidewall cuts. I usually kind of come through and I check it out after I'm drying off the bike. But this is going to be about the wash cycle. Alright, so that takes care of that. And then we're going to just sort of pop to the back. I'll hit the drivetrain with just a little bit of water. And then I want to hit it with a bristle brush. And this guy, I kind of come back through, and again, I'm not doing anything crazy. I'm just kind of getting at it, something like this. I actually have a chain brush, and I used it before the last ride. This is also a good spot, good time to get these Eagle derailleur pulleys. They seem to accumulate their fair share of grime. I feel like more than the XX1, the 1x11 stuff did, but you know, I don't have any scientific evidence for that. So let's see, under here, I'm looking around, it's looking good. So now I'm just going to sweep, and I'm just going to hit the bike. I didn't really mess too much with the this is one of those so satisfying. You hit it, you just watch that stuff bead off the wheels. Thing is, you never quite get that stuff off. That's kind of why I like to use simple green. There's a residue. If there's a residue for simple green, it is biodegradable, and I like it because it doesn't have any leftover ill effects if you leave some, you know, as maybe there is, you know, a little bit of residue sort of floating around. I didn't really bother with the pedals. You saw that. I guess I missed those, but you hit them with the water and with the hose, and you're probably pretty good. So just kind of get that all nice and this good. It's coming out nice. So this also, I didn't emphasize this before, but getting the back of the fork is good. I don't like that my stanchions are peeling. I do not like that. I kind of fussed. This is a 17 fork, and it's, you know, I treat my bikes well. I don't know why stanchions are peeling the Kashima coat, but it is. Here, so you can see a nice close-up of it over here. Just come to this side. You can see it right there. That's annoying. I'm not happy with it, but I'll ride the fork until it's not performing. And then I'll do something about it. That's just annoying. And then again, kind of come through, shooting up the bottom of this and kind of coming around this side. Little stone chip, and some of my 3M 2228 mastic tape is giving out. It's here, and it's kind of flaking off the crank arm. So I kind of use this stuff. I pull it off. I rub it, put some rubbing alcohol on it to clean the residue. I put a new strip on there, and that'll probably be good for 2018 spring riding season. Lasts about a year, I guess. And in the higher impact points, probably replace it twice a year. But it's better than getting a scratched up or dented up sort of frame or crank arm, which is just not cool at all. So, you know, that's pretty much it. Now I'm just gonna, you know, sort of come back through with a chamois, and I think that pretty much does it. So there you go. It's a Nomad 3.5 gallon portable power washer. I was able to do this bike just fine, and yeah, a little bit of simple green, a little bit of degreaser, a little bit of elbow grease, and you're good to go. Hey everybody. Okay, so I shot this video in two parts. The first one was the bike wash, which I showed with the Nomad portable power washer. It worked out great, winter months, and actually it cooled down a bit again, so we dropped a little bit below freezing overnight for a couple of nights. We had another nor'easter pass through here, and so for good reason, I didn't bust out the garden hose off the spigot coming off the back of the house. Might have ended up with another frozen pipe situation. So today though, Part two, maybe, of this is because I got some things from the mailbox. One of them is a Hayes feeler gauge. Not a very popular, well-known product, but you know, it can be helpful. What you've got here is a gauge that is used for setting up caliper alignment on the rotors. So the other piece that came in the mail then is, I'll show you how this is used, or how I'm going to use it. The other piece that came in the mail is this handy thing right here. It's a 200 millimeter rotor. I'm replacing a rotor on the Chromag on the front wheel. I'm replacing it with this. It's a 200 millimeter rounded rotor, just the newer thing from SRAM. Okay, so that's funny. SRAM. So this is what my attempt to correct one of those micro injustices that I hear uttered from time to time, and it's just one of those little things that just gets me. It doesn't get me. It just sort of like, I feel like I gotta do a public service announcement, and people can go on doing whatever they want, armed with the information. So SRAM, not SHRAM. SRAM. SRAM is an acronym for the founders of the company, Scott, Ray, and Sam. Ray happens to be the middle name of Stan Day, who is the head of SRAM, and so together they make up the company SRAM, not SHRAM. I suppose if Scott's name was Shot, or Shally, or Shred, or whatever, then it would be SHRAM. But it's not SHRAM. It's SRAM. Of course, now that I've done this, somebody's probably going to go make a annoying meme and ridicule me and my petty little SRAMness. Anyway, SRAM. Alright, so real quick here, I've got the 200 millimeter rotor on. Here it is, ready to rock and roll. And I'm gonna demonstrate the use of this, which never demonstrate for the first time without having used a product. Nevertheless, that's what I'm gonna attempt to do. So when I spin the wheel, you can hear, after the car noise has gone away, you can hear the rotor rubbing on the caliper, on the brake pads. You should be able to hear that. Alright, so I learned a couple of things. This $14-ish tool didn't quite work right on the first try. So I think I'm just going to have to read the instructions more carefully. I actually did, because I'm half German, so I read them halfway. Honestly, the other half is about aligning the pads when you're testing bleeds and stuff like that. But I have to spend a little bit of time with this and figure out if I used it correctly. Didn't work as I had hoped, but that doesn't make it a bad product. It just means I've got to spend a little bit more time with it to get to know it a little bit better. Ultimately, I used the old school method of loosening the caliper and really getting a feel for it, and now it's dead silent. There is no rotor rub. It's a positive engagement. Feels really, really, really solid, and so this thing's ready to rock. So thanks for hanging with me. Thanks for watching this. Thanks for the public service announcement on SRAM. And with that, I'll see you next time on another video. If you liked what you saw here, I'd love it if you gave it a like. Love it if you aren't a subscriber and you liked what you saw and you want to see more. Love for you to click the subscribe button and to get notifications. But overall, if you liked it, and you want to share some of the joy back, leave a comment. Let me know what you do. Let me know if there's something else you'd like to see. I'm a big bike guy, and so I'm always learning. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.